When you travel the Oregon coastline, it's easy to get in touch with Oregon's past, especially at whitewashed wonders, those solitary sentinels along the Oregon coast. Hi there, I'm Grant McComey, your host for Travel Oregon's Grant's Getaways. And this week, we discover one particular sentinel where service, duty, and responsibility have been bywords for more than a century. And it is a wonderful nature park, too. Come on along as we journey to the central Oregon coast near Newport and explore Yaquina Head. As the seasons change, the sun, surf, and sand merge in a breathtaking moment and catch an artist's eye.
So far, it's my favorite one that I've ever seen. Just the feeling of the light on a late summer day.
A towering white light called Yuh-quinn-uh captured Mark Brustannon's heart 15 years ago. He's come back to give the memory life, one brushstroke at a time.
Boy, this view of this lighthouse is something else right here. I just love it.
It's not hard to love a light that stood more than a century and where folks still line up to go inside.
When we walk through that front door, we're going back in time. It's going to be 1885, and I will be playing a head lightkeeper here at Yaquina Head.
BLM Ranger Brett Greenheck gets a kick out of playing the part and telling the story of a light that came to life in 1871 when nearly 400,000 bricks were delivered to this remote and ancient headland. He says the walls at the base are 5 feet thick for good reason.
Winds can typically come over the headland at 100+ miles an hour. Our walls in here whistle, but they do not waver.
Greenheck adds with 114 steps, it feels like working in a castle. But the view next to the giant Fresnel lens that was shipped around the Horn from France makes the time up here worthwhile.
Now, how far south would you have to travel past our lighthouse until our light begins to fade behind you? 20 miles. You guys are so smart. Very good.
It turns out lighthouse tours are nothing new. Over a century ago, they were part of the job.
Lighthouse keepers beginning in the 1850s were required to give visitors tours to the lighthouse. The problem being that keepers would work all night keeping the light lit, the flame up on top of the lighthouse. So by morning, they wanted to make everything clean, ready for the next night and go home. But when visitors came during daylight, they had to go out and give tours. It was required.
Managed by the BLM, the Yaquina Head outstanding natural area is home to seabirds and seals and some of the most accessible tide pools of the Oregon coast.
Probably the most diverse, probably the prettiest. They have the most living things in them of any tide pool I've seen in the Northwest. They're easy to get to and they're protected.
Raptors live here too. Peregrines, high up on a cliff face. You can watch their show anytime.
There's one on the left-hand side and one on the right-hand side.
Oh, aren't you beautiful, darling?
We've had a nesting pair here for 3 years. They nest on the same cliff here. This year they had 3 chicks. They fledged successfully.
Yaquina Headland is a 14-million-year-old lava flow that originated in eastern Washington. Despite a battering by ocean waves, relentless winds, and seasonal rains, the basalt rock refuses to wear away, like the nearby beaches. Spend time in the Yaquina Head Interpretive Center. Learn fascinating natural and cultural history, displays that teach you much about the people who endured hardship to provide service for mariners at sea.
It was hard work maintaining these buildings and the lights. It was darn hard work for us and our families. In the 1800s, 5 or 6 kids, not unusual. With 3 keepers, we would have as many as 25 people out here, maybe even more. This was our community.
A trail guides you to an observation deck to savor dramatic views of the Pacific and a unique perspective on a headland.
It's just so striking against the horizon and the shape of the land. It's just fabulous. Even on a rainy day, it's the best place I could be.
We have all the details, directions, and the contact information so you can make your own adventure at Yaquina Headland right here on the Travel Oregon website. So be sure to check it out. Until next week, do get out here and explore the great Oregon outdoors. Let Travel Oregon be your guide. For Travel Oregon, I'm Grant McComey.